Hey everyone, welcome back to the SDL2 with C. So for this lag, we're going to bring our game world to life by adding enemy AI. You'll learn how to create enemy objects, make them patrol around the map, follow simple movement pattern, and even detect collision with the player. By the end of this video, you'll have a player that can move and animate, a camera that scrolls across the map, and enemies that actually interact with the world. So grab your editor and let's jump right in. So first is to create a CMake file. So CMake file handle the executable and the linking of the libraries. So in the main file, we're going to include the header files that we needed. And then we're going to define our constant. So here we have the sprite underscore size, frame count, frame delay, character speed, and enemy speed. So here we have a direction enum. So this defines the sprite animation row depending on the direction. Now we have an enemy struct. So x and y is the world coordinates, and then we have width and height, and we have velocity y and x, or the velocity x and y, and then we have a pointer texture. And then we have here a helper function that will check the collision between two rectangles. And then also we uses the SDL built-in, so which is the SDL has intersection to check the two rectangle if they actually overlap. Now inside the main function, we have initialized the SDL init video, and also we initialize the image for PNG so that we can actually use or load the PNG file. Now we have here the creation of the window and the renderer. So here we will going to load the asset, which are the character, background, and the enemy. So we're going to print the error message if there's something wrong, and then we're going to clean it up and create the image and the SDL. Now here we will going to have the background size, the source for the character or the player, and then the player position or the character position in the world space. So here we also initialize our camera. Now we set up our enemy. So we have two enemies, which is for the horizontal patrol and the vertical patrol. Now we have our main loop. Inside the main loop we have our event loop. So inside the main loop we're going to read the keyboard state, and also we're going to store the position or the old position of our character. Now we're going to read if our up, down, right, left key has been pressed. So here we will going to have the animation frame between two frames. So how quick or how the transition from changing from one frame to other frame. So now we're going to update our enemies. So here we will going to have the velocity of our enemy, and also the limits or the boundary of our enemy patrol. And here we're going to set up our camera. So the camera will follow the character in the center, and then we're going to clamp the camera inside the world bounds. And lastly, we're going to have the character or the player position relative to the camera. So here we will going to draw our enemy. So we create the SDL rect or enemy rect, and then we loop that with our two enemies, and then we are going to render that. And then for the collision, we were going to create a SDL rect. So we will call that a character box and enemy box. And we're going to check if those boxes have been collide or have a collision using the helper function that we already made. Now, lastly, we're going to clean up the resources that has been occupied or has been used by this game. And that's a wrap up for this log of our SDL2 with C. We now have working enemies that patrol back and forth and collide with the player. So for the next log, we'll take this step further by making our enemies smarter, giving them chase behaviors and more advanced AI. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding!